Hey, what is up, everyone? Killian and Flo here, bringing you the 14th Everything Terra podcast. It's surprising that we've actually been keeping this up for 3.5 months now, and thank you all for everyone who has supported and helped the channel grow. So, what we're going to be talking about this week, we're kind of moving the podcast as a whole into a different direction. We're going to be making it a little bit more community-driven. So what we're going to be talking about today is the community revival. What that means is how there's going to be a resurgence of players coming back for the new content, the community-driven events and in-mass events as well. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the current leveling event that is happening. For those of you who don't know, it's going to be going on until the 14th, so level what you can. And then we're going to do a loading screen comparison. What this means is we're going to showcase some of the artwork that in-mass has gotten from the loading screen competition that they had from both the winter and the summer events. So we're pretty much just wanting to make this a lot more of a community podcast. Along with that, we're also going to be talking about the community overhaul that Tera Today is going to be featuring. And for those of you who don't really know, well, there's also a giveaway at the end of all this. So we'll talk about that at the end as well. Alright guys, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Kilrian. I am a Tera content creator for both Tera Today, which is I have a Berserker PvP guide on, or on YouTube I have a bunch of PvE guides, gold making guides, some PvP content, just a bunch of really cool stuff on my YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
And my name is Flo. I'm an active MMO streamer. I like to do a lot of PvP. So if you ever check out my sort of content, you'll see a lot of like PvP clips, reels, highlights. I also am a content creator for Tera Today as well. So I've written a class-specific guide, the Slayer, and just kind of a lot of descriptions, mechanics and such. So basically I play the game and I stream really often. So if you really want to see that, you can check me out. Anyways, let's really get into the podcast today.
Yeah. So with the new T15 gear coming out, and much like we saw whenever Manaya's Core came out, or the game went free to play, in-mass, or just Tera as a whole, really gained a resurgence of players. Old players, new players, whatever it is. And one thing that really comes to mind whenever you see this resurgence of old players or new players coming into the game, you think about like ad campaigns. From what we understand, from what we've heard through the grapevine, at least, is that in-mass is going to be trying to do a little bit more of an ad campaign again. So I'm really hoping that I've seen Tera advertisements on YouTube before. I really hope they do something like that instead of those tacky like play free now on just like random anime sites. What do you think they're going to do for an ad campaign?
Well, I think they're trying it a little bit kind of the same way as the Manaya's Core. The Manaya's Core on release was a really good advertisement. Like the way they showcased it, from footage to gear, they're really trying to like step it down. If you went on the Tera site, you'll see Meet the Reaper, and it's got like all the new little features coming up. They really tried to line up the Reaper release with the 2nd year anniversary of Tera. Surprising, right? 2 years on Tera. I know. But it's just like, just from that, like, it's been really noticed on multiple things. We've had Patrick's son, aka Tree Shark. He did an interview on MMORPG.com about the release of their new class. The game's been noticed by multiple game letters such as Games Radar, Massively. Just all this little attention is slowly adding up. The hype is really coming. I think everyone can kind of feel it now that it's like, what, a week away before we get this class? A week away after all this time, all these features, watching all these streams, these videos that I posted myself. So it's just kind of like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited for the class since it's like, now it's like coming, you know, like it's just been kind of anxious this whole time.
Definitely. Like with Reaper coming out, it's really going to bring a bunch of old players back to the game, in my opinion, because it's like, hey, it's a new class, it's a new feel to the game. And the fact that it starts level 40, or sorry, level 50, and then pretty much gets up to 58 from its like leveling zone. I mean, heck, it's almost a free 60 that everyone can play and master. It's a whole nother game to master, a whole nother aspect of the game to master, which is just really, really cool. As well as the new content, like a full new set of gear means that players are going to have so much stuff to do. Right now, one of the biggest complaints is you hit max level, and it's like, oh, I don't, it feels so grindy. Like, the content's not hard. And with this new content coming out, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be more challenging content, new gear to get for everybody, and I think a ton of people are going to come back, which is going to be awesome. I want to see servers that aren't MT have people outside Velka. I want to see people wrecking each other in alliance content. I want to see all of that going on, and I really think that's what's going to happen. After that as well, like with the incoming content, I think a lot of players can't really quit Tera. It's like back when I played WoW, at least. Like every time I was like, I'm going to quit WoW, I came back like 6 months later because I couldn't find a better game. I find that to be true with Tera. The real action combat just it's timeless. It's generations ahead. Much like we talked about in our last podcast, which I'll have a link to, by the way, if anyone wants to go listen to us for that. But Tera's gameplay, Tera's content, Tera's gameplay, and true real action combat is just timeless. What would you say about that?
It's like, I've been at this game for 2 years. I played like a few months back when it first released in Korea. It stuck for me all the way back then. It's still sticking to me now. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Like Tera's combat, it's not only addicting, it spoils you. When you play other games and you can't even see that comparison. All these other games, they're making that attempt, but so long as Tera's combat still has the edge over the rest of these games, it's just gonna be that much more of a reason for you to say, hey, I want to play Tera. It feels more skill based. It's, it really stands out regardless of what sort of content, whether it's slow, it's fast. But with all this content coming, we're really excited to see it finally. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
Tera's really up there, especially as a free-to-play game for sure.
Easily the best free-to-play MMO. That's what I say, and I stand by that to the end. But with that resurgence coming in as well, that resurgence of players, I'm hoping that we're going to see an increase of community-driven events. What community-driven events, guys, is that events that people on the server, that players just like ourselves host. We make sure to organize, create a prize pool, create entries, organize these community-driven events, and it livens up the server. One thing that we're seeing, or actually talk a little bit about what your experience has been with community-driven events.
I think community-driven events is just a reason for us all really socialize and really get to know each other. You know what I'm saying? Like at least for the PvP server, since I've pretty much been a part of PvP my entire Tera career, it's just that the PvP tournaments. For those that have been here for in the past, they know back then there used to be a lot of death matches. There used to be a lot of 3v3, 5v5. American used to host a lot of 5v5 deathmatch tournaments. He used to be really, really popular for that. So it's just kind of really that clash, who's the best. So 10v10, 20v20. There used to be a lot a little nitpick things hide and seek. People used to do they would just be hey, find me, come find me. You know those areas in the game that are really hard to get into, like Baltera, those certain little rivers and stuff like that, and hey, guess what picture, guess where I'm at, tell me where it is, and take an exact same picture there. People were giving me items like that. It's just people would there's a lot of community interaction when it comes to events. Those are the ones I could think of, at least off the top of my head, for the most part.
That's what I was going to say, is it really drives a sense of community. Once you get into those events, start participating in those events, it makes the game feel a lot more interactive rather than what you would find on a single player game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an MMORPG, massive multiplayer online role playing game. So if you're not doing the multiplayer part, if you're not creating that community, then it's not worth it. One event that's actually standing out to me right now on Mount Tyrannus actually is there's actually hosting a fight club on the forums by Raven. Let's see, by Raven Rise, and so he's organizing this entire fight club, which is every single Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Was it?
It's around 1 to 4.
So
And
1 to 4, yeah, on one of the Alimentia bridges, he's hosting a fight club. What's rule number 1 of Fight Club? Don't talk about it. We don't give a fuck. We're talking about it anyway because we want to hype the shit out of this. But so it's just a collection of every single Saturday where a bunch of people can get together and duel and just have a good dueling location, collision, everything like that. Not to mention, Raven has actually been recording all of these fights and uploading them to the forum post, which I'll post a link to the forum post down in the description for anyone who wants to read that stuff. Or Flo might be able to link one in his stream chat as well.
it's really cool. Like they have really minimal bets. It's like 150 gold and something 1v1. You get to see a lot of 1v1, and each match is kind of being shown off. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not just limited to 1v1 either. I know that there was like a few 3v3 matches at the end. They're really trying to make it balanced in a sense, where like, you know, they're trying to keep it in a collision zone, but a safe zone, so you don't get completely trolled by, you know, people trying to interfere with the tournament or like the whole like deathmatch and stuff. So it's kind of like, you know, like for those people like me that like really are just kind of sitting in queue, not really getting anything done while like waiting for PvP, you can stop by here, maybe get a little like I'd really like to get my little competition, and the whole 1v1 is a really it's a really fun concept for me. I'm sure it's a fun concept for a lot of people. So if you're on MT, just, you know, stop by, check it over, watch it. I forgot to stream it last week, but I'll definitely try to stream it this week for sure.
Do you think you could move out of the Fight Club with positive gold flow?
Probably. I think so. Yeah.
Don't get full of yourself. You're a slayer. But yeah, so stuff like that just is really, really core to what making community good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These kinds of events. So if you happen to have any ideas, like if you're watching this podcast right now, if you happen to have any ideas, all it takes is just a little bit of work, a little bit of just like talking with people, and you can get events like this going on. And that just, it really does liven up. It livens up the server. It livens up your Terra experience, as well as all the players that you do end up meeting and play with through that. What do you think, kind of off of community events, what do you think about in-mass events? Like, from what we've seen, they've done leveling events, they've done BAM spawning. What do you think that they should do as far as events go?
I think, to be honest, I think they need to have a lot more interaction. There's still a really big, I feel this really big distance between the players and the GMs. I feel like they don't play enough. You know, like they don't understand the game from our perspective. They can see, they understand it really well from their business perspective, and you know, that's something I can understand. But for the most part, the GMs of the past, they used to be able to do the dungeons. They were capable of doing, like they are aware that like certain bugs can really like inhibit the play. Like people are taking advantage of certain dungeons to try to get ahead of other people. Like that's like that connection is kind of lost in a sense.
Yeah.
Whereas like I think that they can definitely be a lot more part of it. Like an example is like when they did the closed beta, when they first were doing like the first 2 closed betas, they got to the level cap. They got to level 27, and they farmed Sister Mana. So they got the best gear of their level they possibly could. And they're just kind of like fighting it out amongst themselves. And what happened was a GM came out at level 60 with all of his gear, and he massacred hundreds of people outside of Velikaliska. They all died. Everyone died. Everyone jumped this guy out of nowhere. And it was definitely something to really like give a good pastime. Like there's just like some other ones. GMs used to watch people down dungeons. Like, on Jagged Coast, when the first Kelsake's Nest hard mode was first down, the GM was hovering above him. He was looking down, and he's just like watching it like being really going down. Like it was getting streamed. A lot of people were getting hyped from it. I can only imagine that the GMs, you know, even though they do get a lot of shit from us, you know, because we're very needy people. We want a lot of things. Like I think that if they, you know, really try to interact with us a little bit more. I know Minea really does it with her community management stuff. She does a lot of events on TR and CH, and I know Tonka really gets that thing every Friday with Chushak. That's something to look forward to watching every Friday. That's pretty cool too. I really enjoyed the random aspects, you know, like Visago, he used to teleport people randomly. He's like, hey, you know, like you guys don't have anything, like, let me just show you around the game. You know, that's what he did for me, and that was really cool. So more GM interaction, maybe more random sporadic stuff.
We need quality GMs like Don't Taste Me, bro. We really do. Those you don't know, Taste Me, bro. He is a not friendly GM.
He's mean.
He's like, very mean.
He's like Kobo Dragon on a bad day. It's really mean.
God. See, that shows how many GMs we've like dealt with over the time. We like know them by name. It's pretty funny. But yeah, like you were saying, I hope that there is more overall interaction that Inmass does do. Kind of kick it back to the old time instead of a very businessy, like standoffish, you know, because that makes it a lot more fun for players, as long as they're not like trolling you to a huge degree, unless you're trolling them. But overall, I would like to see more GMs just kind of hopping around. It would liven the game up again. So right now, talking about events and in-mass events, actually, it's temporary, so we just wanted to make sure everyone is taking advantage. Until the 12th, in other words, 1 week from today, you have double mob experience. This is an in-mass leveling event, which they're giving out every single 10 levels from, you get a box at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So every single mob kill that you do, you gain double experience. Just like having a 100% experience boost on, except for those elite players, or even if you grab a 100% XP boost right now, it's going to stack on top of that. I did from level like, what, 10 to, or like 8 to 30 in like 3 hours or something on my Lancer. It's insane how fast you can level right now. I know you're leveling right now. How's it going for you?
Leveling warriors, it's fun. Everyone knows how much I hate the class, but you know, like, it's definitely a different experience, and it's kind of like, I think everyone I know, at least, is taking advantage of the event for sure. This is kind of like, you know, the main purpose of the event is more hype for people to rake the Reaper. Everyone knows you need one character at level 40 in order to create the Reaper. It's not sacrifice the character, it simply allows you permission to create another character that starts at level 50. So go out there, go make 40s, make your Reaper, and start playing the new class. You can boost right to 60 in a matter of 2 hours if you really put your mind to it when Reaper comes out on May 15th.
And remember, you can make other accounts and level characters on those accounts, so you can have multiple accounts do just, I don't know, maybe you could 5-box Reapers.
You can Reaper spam all day, guys. Just think about that for a second. Get to play the class 24/7.
Think of how many Reapers we get to have in solo queue and Battlegrounds in a week. It's going to be great. But hopefully they learn pretty quickly. So with that leveling event, if you are looking to have an alt, guys, grab another 100% XP boost. Go look at some youtube.com/Killian leveling guides, because all of those are oriented around mob grinding, which with triple experience in essence in effect right now, you're gonna insta hit 60. It's insane. You can't go wrong with that. So kind of moving off of, well, not moving off of events, but moving towards more community things. We wanted to actually talk about community, the loading screens. Every single time, especially if you're on a bad computer, you spend 30 seconds looking at a loading screen whenever you enter a battleground or whatever it may be. And Inmass actually does a really good job of hosting these events, these artwork contests for the loading screens, which is really, really cool. So today we wanted to actually talk a little bit about what loading screens we've liked. So what we did was we found 2 of the winter ones each that we liked, and so we're going to showcase that and talk a little bit about them. And then we found 2 of the new summer summer ones that we also enjoyed, and just kind of show off what kind of artwork that we enjoy. And one thing I would like to emphasize is that with this podcast, literally our original intention for this was going to be, we want community driven stuff. We want to showcase what people do in Terra. That's why we're talking about the Fight Club today. That's why we're talking about the really, really cool artwork. So if you ever happen to make something, send in your sketches to with the hashtag EVERYTHINGTERA. Send in your sketches. Send in any artwork, any Tera fan stuff. Retweet anything that looks really cool. Cosplay, it doesn't matter. We would love to talk about Tera-related, community-driven content using the hashtag EVERYTHINGTERA on Twitter. Or even send us a message on Twitch. Whatever it is, we really wanted to talk about that. So kind of moving on, we're going to first showcase each of us two, of our favorite winter ones.
Now before we start, I hope you guys understand that just like Mr. Tree Shark and Mr. Tonka, who was talking about art before, we are not art experts. We're merely just picking things that we prefer. This does not mean we're discrediting other artists. It's just kind of like what we see as, you know, most appealing to Mr. Kyrian over here. And it's just kind of ones I like too. I like to really like look at art in general. Everyone knows I love fan art. I've gotten fan art before, so.
Actually, I have a PhD in art philosophy. So, not to discredit any art majors out there, but yeah, hopefully, pretty much we just chose ones that we thought were really cool and just unique overall. And so, like Flo said, we're not experts by any means. And if you like some of the other ones, then feel free to comment down below. You know, comment down below, talk in stream, say which one of your loading screens that you like the most. So first, we're going to pull up the winter ones. This one I personally chose. Let's see. Make sure I appropriately, sorry, I should have been a little bit more prepared. This one I personally chose from Pantyhose on Ascension Valley. Anyone who watches Game of Thrones gets this reference. This is an awesome, awesome piece of art in my opinion, and I loved seeing this. The overall just style of it, especially with Slayer, like, I like the art style, because Standing Male honestly has the coolest looking leather with like the wolf shoulders and everything like that.
Yeah.
Because Flo would know he's a Castanic male now. But this is just a really cool art piece in my opinion, and anyone who's a Game of Thrones fan instantly recognized this. What do you have to say about this one?
He has a VM2 PV, so right on his left, if you notice right there, it's pretty badass. He always got the eye patch going on. I mean, I don't know, it's definitely, I remember I was watching, I was checking out the thread of the person after they posted this. They put up their sketches prior, and seeing the creations, it was like 6 or 7, like you get to scroll down, you get to see it like really go into motion.
Cool.
It was really cool, like especially like, I liked it a lot better without color, just because, you know, like it really shows the, like the lines and stuff like that.
The detail.
Yeah, the detail and stuff like that. So that was like something.
Oh, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to what yours was, Flo.
Oh heck yeah, yo, Durano from MT. He's got like the whole like, it's got the whole SAO feel to it. You know what I'm saying? It's got like it was like cold, so I really liked seeing snow. I'm Canadian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was a little confused at first. I'm like, that's the EU flag, right? It's just not as green as I'm originally pictured for the most part. And the funny part is that he drew a mount, and during that event when they did the loading screen event, that's like, you got a chance to win the snow leopard. So I was kind of like, you know, this guy definitely has his eye on the prize. So
for sure, and he did win. He was actually the first pick winner for that. And also, if you actually take a look, he's literally in this zone. He's leaving Kayator. You can see that in the background, which is exactly where we are right now.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
So it's one thing that we actually had in mind whenever we started this podcast. It's a really cool piece of work, and I hope to just see more kind of artwork coming out like this, because it shows the level of detail and like you said, that kind of SAO feel. You either made a bunch of anime fans really happy or really pissed with that statement.
For sure.
And so let's move on to my secondary pick, which is, I want to make sure to get their appropriate names because I wasn't good like Flo to write the names down and whatnot. This one was from Sakimi from Celestial Hills. Overall, the amount of detail that actually went into this one is just insane. I love just the little bits and pieces which really bring like a picture to life. Like you see, basically the roasting marshmallows, right? You see a dragonette over his shoulder. You see like the scar on his face. I think like the overall coloration, like the coloration of this one, if that is that a word? The coloration.
I think so.
It's
I think
a
that's
word,
something like that, yeah.
of this piece, in my opinion, is awesome. I love that like royalty red, because for anyone who's old school Kilrian knows I was in royalty and I love that color. What do you have to say about this one?
I like the Castanic outfit. That's like I honestly, in my own opinion, like the sexiest outfit like the Castanic female like cloth has. So it's just kind of like, you know what you know what I'm saying? Plus, you know, the Castanic has like the cool scar and stuff like that, and I especially like the background. It really like gives that feel of like them. It gives me that Pathfinder feel, I think. So like with the whole like icy forest and stuff like that. You know, like the road from Kaitor to Pathfinder is just all snowy. And
Yeah,
stuff like that. So
it really is cool. It really is cool. I love attention to detail. It's very homey. It was very winter-esque, which obviously we're out of that now. Now I'm in Austin, Texas, and it's hot as all hell outside. But this really kind of it makes you feel good seeing a picture like this. And so, Lucy, now you know what outfit to go for now. All right, moving on to Flo's secondary choice. What do you have to say about this one?
I love it. I love it. Look at it. It's so cute, yo. It's got like everyone knows. Every time I fucking like when I did threes, I would always summon my pet Cheeks on top of people. Every time I killed someone, every time I knew I was gonna win, I threw him on top. Back when I could summon him, I'm like, homie, go! You would just sit on people like that. So I was just
That's where you got that from.
Plus, you know, like, that was the first one to win a Cheeks on MT too, back when they first gave it away, so it's just kind of like, yes. Plus, you know, it's got everything I always liked, like the quarterjack, or the quarterjack mount, like that's the mount that we won in the tournament. You know, like the Rambo was also something I insta-bought, and the Twangi hat was my very first cosmetic in game too. So
God,
I love it. It's just super cute. Don't forget, look, there's a Popo with a snowsuit. How many Popos do we have in the guild right now? Of snowsuits, dude. The blue snowsuit with the wolf hat, like.
Oh my God. That outfit.
It's definitely trolling. It's adorable. I love it.
It really is. It's pretty much adorable. That's the word that you can use to describe that. I like the overall art style of it. It's very like cutesy, which really holds true to Tera, in my opinion. You know, if you're an Ellen fan, you gotta have a cute side to you, and so that's why this one is it's Flo's pick, because he is a Cheeks fanboy. Or Totes, or whatever you happen to get.
Homie, yo.
Homie. God, I remember that. Bad times. Flo was BM with that thing. So kind of moving off of the winter ones to something a little bit more fresh in people's minds, because, you know, after you get killed in 3v3 by us all the time, you see that loading screen pretty often. So, pretty much moving on into the summer ones. And I'm going to start with my personal favorite, which is, everyone knows Nipuni. Everyone. She is easily the most well-known Tera artist out there, and she never ceases to amaze me in terms of what she creates. Like, I did an interview with her back in the day with Velka's voice, which was a thing on Tera Today, and her art, you can just see the level of detail, how well the whole picture comes together. All the characters that you see there, she draws across all of her content. You know, that's her main in the middle. I think her boyfriend is like Castanic male, and just it really shows you how much detail she puts into this. One thing I really like to point out is the fact that this was the summer one. She knows the Reaper's coming, and you see in the back the Reaper with the drill hair, with the slice coming around and then wrapping all of them. It's amazing. That's the only word for it, really.
Yeah, it really blows things out of the water. Like each character that has drawn in is kind of like a whole lot of detail to. To me, it's like it's a little extreme. Like this is like really, I feel like really out of place when I see this sort of thing, because I'm really like a down to earth kind of guy. And this is kind of like a lot of people say this is like god tier kind of art. Like holy crap! Like this is something I want to see as a permanent loading screen. Like people have told me that when I was like suggesting it before. So this is definitely like, I'm definitely impressed.
Yeah,
That's for
she
sure.
deserves that honor. It's as simple as that. So moving on from, because this one, Flo literally told me before the podcast, she was like, I don't want to put Nipunes because it's too good. It's too good. Like she's just above everybody.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stop dick riding Nipuni now. Moving on to Flo's first choice for this one will actually be. Get their. You have their name. You talk about
Zago
it.
from Celestial Hills. This is kind of like really it's really detailed. Like I said, it's got that whole like I think that's like a it's either a fireworks show or Cytheraphe. It's just got that whole like feel to it. For the most part, it's just kind of it has the whole like the ninja swords, and that's like if you see right there, there's like puddles on the ninja sword. Everyone knows how much I love swords, yo. So it's like if I see any detail on swords, it's really cool. It's got that whole magic feel to it. And to be honest, I really got that. If I was brand new to this game, I would really consider that like a regular loading screen. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this is awesome. I want them to drop me stuff. That's for sure.
What I find very unique about this is that there's actually a very rare species of high elf male in this picture. No one plays high elf male. I'm sorry. Well, it's very rare unless you're gold. But like, for the most part, I think that this one does really showcase that. Just it's very what's the word for like lighting, like luminescent, I guess. It's a cool picture. You know what it actually reminds me of in the background there? It reminds me of Avatar. Those little floaty things. Do you see them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. And she actually has the ninja weapon skin for the sorcerer as well. By the way, Flo.
Sork
I
is
know you're
really
not...
hard to see, man. Like if I was a Sork, I would notice it.
But yeah, this is another one of those ones that really shows you the artist's ability to notice detail and put a lot into their work. Some submissions are very fun, are very colorful. Some of them are extremely detailed, like Nipune's, like this one, and both of them have their good sides, basically. You know, both of them have their unique aspects, and congratulations to Zagat for winning this one. All right, moving on to my second choice, which I honestly wish I had the actual names, because I have to pull up the picture every single time I want to do this. All right, so Adelric from Tempest Reach. This is a real loading screen to me. Like, this just overall look, the fact that it has the actual Tera emblem in there and everything, it just looks really, really cool. I've always been a huge fan of just the black and white, the like fine detail. All the shading in this, I know like how I'm talking about this in a very artsy sense, but the shading in this, it's like those thin lines that just really creates the character, in my opinion, and the art style flourishes. The fact that we actually have Arborea in the background is so cool to me. The fact that she or he had the mindset to actually be able to do that.
It really reminds me of you know when you go to Velica, and you know like when the game first came out and you bought the game, and when you bought the physical copy, it has that like mini map and stuff like in the physical collection, or like those cool like little things over on the walls, and people that used to like put like those promotions, you know what I'm saying, like those like playmate promotions. This is what it reminds me of for sure. It's got that whole like paper, like it's just kind of. I don't know. It's got that really cool Terra feel to it. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole Velica feel, especially for me. So
yeah,
it definitely really stands out for me.
I could see this being a permanent. You know, I could see this being a permanent loading screen. That's what I really hope for them to do eventually. Is to make some of these permanent. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Outside of events, because they're awesome. And then lastly, Flo's choice. It was a little interesting.
Yeah, this one's cool. It's reference from Ascension Valley, and it's got that whole like, it's like a party. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's going out to like screw around, man. Like, everyone goes out to eat, and it's just kind of like a lot of things are going on around, and you can really see the details of each character, especially like the Castanetic male at the front. Like they're really trying to get that whole comedy feel to it a little bit. But like every character there is just kind of like a little bit detailed here and there, and it's just kind of it's really fun for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I really feel like I'm playing an MMO when I see this sort of thing. So this is like hopefully this guy takes commissions because this is really cool. Like I really like this one a lot. So
it makes me wonder, like, so the Castanetic male, he's like running away. He's like, peace out. I'm gonna eat all these like mochi balls, basically, or whatever those are.
yeah.
Like you got the high elf female. She's looking back. She's like, hey, you better hurry up or something. The poor's like, oh fuck, what are you doing? Get over here. Like the Baraka is just like, I have my shield. Should I tank it? And then I don't. That's an Ellen in the background.
Yeah, he's just kind of clueless. That Ellen Berserker's kind of like, what's going on? And she's like so tiny in comparison to everyone. Yeah, for sure. So
doesn't matter. I can hold block for days. I ain't gonna do nothing.
that's Kyrian right there.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the Amon male is just like, I don't give a fuck, whatever, peace. He's just walking away like there should be an explosion behind that Amon male as he's walking casually away. He just doesn't care. But yeah, overall, like this kind of cartoony art style, I like the fact that they showcased all the races. You know, well, except humans. Sorry, no one really cares about you. But but for the most part, I do like how they actually went through the trouble of showcasing pretty much all the races, and I'm kind of curious if this was almost in reference to something that actually happened in the main game. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
a lot of artists get their inspiration from stuff that happens in game. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting. All right, so guys, that's pretty much all of the art that we had. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed kind of the art show because we'd like to kind of do something along this line a little bit more often. But hopefully, next time it'll actually be your submissions using hashtag EVERYTHINGTERA on Twitter or sending them in on Twitch, wherever you want to contact us by. But once again, kind of in light of what we've been talking about, in light of this whole podcast right now, we really want to emphasize that we want to make this more community driven, and that's pretty much going alongside Tera Today. Talk us through like what Tera Today wants to do.
Tera Today is really to the
what Tera Today is though.
Well, what it is, or what people think it is? Because I want to start with what people think it is. People really see it as a resource center. You know, we have SP and Yosha really providing Korean news. If you give calculator, you have the encyclopedia that Kato's been working on forever with all the freaking item details and stuff. So he's got like the drop rates and stuff sort of to an extent. But in reality, the whole purpose of the dual, co-creators of Tera Today is they really wanted to make a real community base, a community hub where maybe people can really interact and stuff. You know, if you go into forums and like it's kind of it's a little iffy, and then the Reddit is kind of a little bit iffy, and so it's just kind of like a place where people want to talk to me about stuff. Talk to Kyrian, talk to Yosha, talk to Aspe, talk to all the people that create content. Like they're planning to revamp their site, like a really big thing. Like they're buying like a license for like a $400 license or something to really revamp the whole site altogether. It's gonna have It's gonna have its own forums. We get to really actively shoot out content. Like any questions, I'll pretty much answer there. Yosha will answer there. Since Yosha is planning to port over from Resonance forums, he really wants a place where he's doing it for fun. He wants to like really give it out a lot easier for the community. I know Chris and Kato were really listening to the feedback that they were getting. So they were like, a lot of people were having a lot of trouble. Like, it's not as user-friendly as they wanted to. Discus is fucking confusing. Maybe that's just me. It's kind of... They're really, really putting a lot of effort into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm in full support of their side. They've really put a lot of time and effort into it. Kyrian's been with them a lot longer than I have. Even though I'm cooler. But... yeah, for sure, With that in mind, once things start going on, we're really gonna try to credit people, and this doesn't really apply to just people that stream. Really, it's people that do videos, people that do art. If anyone remembers, I did write a thread on the forums about graphics designers, overlays, like art, media, like what do you do, stream, like I'll throw in guides. You'll get to interact with me a lot better on the Tera Today site, 100%. Like even though you're on my stream and you do ask my questions there, really want to put a place down for everyone to kind of really, because it's really difficult for people to get those the certain forum settings that you have when you're like posting up threads and stuff, and you really want to put it a certain way and all that stuff. Basically, Terraforms don't have a markdown. They don't have a thing that really tells you you can do this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
The forums, you can't be creative about it and all that stuff. So
on top of that, on top of the forums access, because I mean, I would love to see an active Tera Today forum, like everyone using Tera Today forums, because it'll be a little bit less Hail Hitler with the rules, in my opinion. We'd be a little bit more lax, so people can actually express themselves on there. We can also if we could see more theory crafting and just more quality interaction between everybody on that compared to Terraforms, like you said, it's kind of eh. On top of that, whenever I asked them originally, because before all this, guys, or before the podcast, I was asking him, I was like, we want to hype this up, we want to talk about it. What is the goal behind this? And the goal behind it is to greatly increase community interaction, quote for quote, and actually turn Tera Today into a community hub by adding a forum and adding user content creation. What user content creation is going to be, from what we understand, from what we're hoping the implementation is that you'll actually have a profile. You will actually be able to submit your content, whether that be artwork, whether that be videos. They really want to create a community hub. And if we can get that rolling as a whole, Tera will grow. Tera's already grown. And if it can move towards even more of a community-based thing, if it can grow in that sense, then it's going to be awesome. And like Flo said, I mean, if you're wanting to talk to veterans, there are going to be veterans on there. There are going to be people who are playing K-Tera, so knowing information that we don't have access to normally. There's going to be every single class that you want to talk to on there. So if we can really push that out and make it what it can be, then it's going to be awesome.
For the most part, everyone knows this, NA forums, NA GMs, they're a little slow in terms of getting the content that we're supposed to get from Korea. You're on the website, you're there for Korea, you want to talk about Korean stuff, stuff that is going to come to the game. Things as, we throw ideas on how they're going to polish it, because I've been at this game for so long. Throw those ideas there, really express yourself. I'll throw in some points, you'll understand better, and we'll teach you, teach you how, what you can do to prepare better, which is what we've been doing so far with the VM3 patch, and all those podcasts so far. We get to podcasts there too. And also, not only that, but, people, they write their commission threads all the time, commission, art. That's cool. We like that stuff too. So we were like, you're welcome to express yourself there as well. Maybe even just kind of just checking it out and just kind of see what people have to say. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of It's really difficult for me, on my personal opinion on the forums, because it's really bump into people that kind of don't know what they're doing. They just got on the forums because they know it's a forums. The Tera Today people and the people that we're gonna welcome in, they're gonna know this is what it's all about. We are a fan site. We're not associated with EME. We are trying to really show you guys exactly what Tera is, a lot more than how the forums show over there.
It's like we were talking about GMs. GMs now, some of them play the game, but they don't play the game like players do. They don't play the game like we do. Every single one of you in stream chat right now most likely know more than most GMs do. And that's what the forum's going to do. It'll actually create a community of players rather than a community of player trying to talk to GMs, which honestly probably know less than you do.
And we're not limited to region. We're not NA. We are everyone. Everyone that can speak English You know, like that way everyone could understand each other. But we're welcoming to all the EU people, because you know, EU. I know a lot of people from EU really enjoy watching Tera streams, such as myself and Kurian, and it's just kind of like. Really, but like when everyone really sits in one spot and talks about it, it's just something to look forward to, especially since we're all playing the game together, we're all having our own fun, our own adventures, so you know. Yeah, community stuff, cool.
Yeah! So, with that in mind, submit your submit topics, submit content, submit whatever the fuck you want to using the hashtag EVERYTHINGTERA, or directly to me on Twitch, or directly to Flo on Twitch, or wherever you can get a hold of us. Write me handwritten letters with tear stains. I don't care. I just want to see user-submitted topics and user-submitted creations. It would be lovely. It would be lovely. So we're reaching the end. Aha! What was that?
Alarm. Herp alarm.
Okay. Herp alarm? Okay.
Beep, beep.
Alright guys, so this is going to be pretty much the end of the podcast, but before we go, I would like to talk about the giveaway that we are going to be doing with each week. Once again, thanks to our sponsors, Tera Today. Make sure to check them out. Easily your best source of K-Tera information, easily your best source of guides, PvE and PvP, and in the future, it is going to be the community hub of the world of Tera. So, with that in mind, guys, all you have to do for Flow's stream, do you have your key ready? Please tell me you have a key ready. You son of a... So, Flow's going to be linking a key in stream, and hopefully this week it will properly work. But Flow's going to be linking a key in stream, which you will then go to teratoday.com/redeem. Once you redeem that key, basically, it will enter you into a raffle, which he will then draw here in 15-20 minutes. And if you win, you win. Congratulations. You win 1,000 EMP to do with what you please. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to have a week's time to submit. And last week's winner did not actually get back to me, and I gave them a 48-hour time window. So, with that in mind, guys, there's going to be 2 winners on my YouTube. All you have to do is, once again, there's going to be a Tera Today key and a redeem link. You go to that redeem link, you enter the code, and it will enter you in. Please make sure to send me your Twitch name. Please make sure to send your character name and your server, because I will be contacting you via in-game if possible. Via in-game or on Twitch. So, if you do win, please make sure to check on that in roughly a week, because I usually decide the winner on Fridays, sometimes Saturdays. Alright guys, hopefully good luck if you're winning, if you're trying to win on Flow Stream. This is the Plug Life section of the stream, or of the podcast. Those of you who don't know, make sure to check out youtube.com/Kurian. I make PvE guides, I make PvP guides, I make a bunch of Tera-related content. Make sure to like me on there. If you want to know anytime I start streaming, anytime I upload a video, follow me on Twitter at Kurian, and at Kurian on Facebook as well. Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
And if you want to see any of my content, you know, feel free to check me out at twitch.tv/Flowroro. That's where I stream. I'm really trying to get on schedule and doing it on a daily basis. I do a lot of my highlights, all the highlights I do on Twitch, you know, like it's really difficult to load up. I post them all up on my YouTube. Check me out on YouTube. youtube.com/Flowroro. That's where all my PvP highlight reels are, along with my scary game series with Suzumiya. You know what I'm saying? You can tweet me out on Twitter. I honestly go to work 5 days a week, so I'm always on Twitter. I can answer all your questions, anything you have to say, anything cool. I try to, all my funny jokes and stuff, I do it all on Twitter. And a lot of the my own personal stuff, like if you want to ask me any personal questions, I haven't asked me, but more importantly, I've got a Facebook page at facebook.com/Flowroro. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part.
He has improved greatly since the young Plug Life days of our first Everything Tera podcast. Alright guys, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you enjoy the podcast. Make sure to like and share with your friends. Share the information, share the love, and don't forget to submit your topics and your content creation or content stuff on Twitter using the hashtag EVERYTHINGTERA. Adios, everybody.
And go make a Reaper, guys, next week. Come on. Alright. See you guys in a bit.
Peace out.
Peace out, guys.
Is that Zeus?
Peace out.